Welcome to Day Trippin'. We're in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
And for those of you who've lived in north central Indiana for any amount of time, you're probably familiar with Fort Wayne. It's only about an hour from Grant County, so it's pretty easy just to take a day trip up here.
And right behind us is a replica of the fort that Major John Whistler built back in 1815, and it's just one example of the history that Fort Wayne has to offer.
This cultural hub is located at the intersection of three major rivers. It started as a trading community since the waterways brought travelers from across the Midwest and was named for the Revolutionary War General Anthony Wayne.
Fort Wayne blends history with modern influence throughout its downtown, with shopping, entertainment, and of course, dining. In 2012, Fort Wayne was home to the #1 and #2 tourist attractions in Northeast Indiana. We decided to check out the Fort Wayne Children's Zoo, ranked #1.
We're here at the Fort Wayne Children's Zoo in front of Mother Goose Pond. And Jacqueline, a lot of times when you go to a zoo, you just expect to see animals in cages, but it's very apparent right when you come into the zoo here that you're just surrounded by nature and you're part of the zoo.
Yeah, there are animals walking around and a lot of opportunities to interact, and we'll get to do some of that later in the show, but there are animals from all over the world here at this zoo, and there's a little something for everyone.
The Fort Wayne Children's Zoo opened in 1965. Over the years, the zoo has grown, bringing more animals and creating new adventures for young and old. Education and Communications Director Cheryl Piropato spent some time showing us around.
The Fort Wayne Children's Zoo is the #1 tourist attraction in Northeast Indiana, and in 2012 we were voted the #1 summer attraction in the whole state of Indiana. The zoo has 4 main sections. We have the African Journey, which opened in 2009. We have the Indonesian Rainforest, the Australian Adventure, and the Central Zoo, which is the original part of the zoo. And every year about 500,000 people visit the zoo. We're open in late April and we close in middle of October. Our mission, of course, is to connect kids with animals. We want kids and animals to make that connection because a lot of kids today live lives that are separate from nature. And so if we can bring nature in front of them just for a day, we hope that'll spark a connection that will then inspire them later in their life or inspire their parents to do things to benefit wild animals, whether that's planting a tree in the backyard or making a contribution to an organization that supports wildlife. That's what we're all about. One of the things that sets the Fort Wayne Children's Zoo apart from other zoos is that we really were designed with kids in mind. So there are a lot of experiences that kids can have. You can brush a goat, climb on a toy train, climb in an old Jeep, hop on a rock, cross a bridge, and of course get very close to animals.
The entrance of the zoo is home to your typical zoo animals: monkeys, penguins, and even some playful sea lions. As you make your way through the park, don't be surprised if an animal or two walks right past you.
Another great chance to interact with the animals is in the Indiana Family Farm, where you get to brush and feed the goats and really just have a good time. The kids seem to love it.
As you venture further through the zoo, be on the lookout for 3 destinations that feature animals from different places around the world.
The African Journey is the zoo's version of a walking safari. The exhibit is open air, giving you the feeling of the African plains. You'll see unique birds like the great white pelican and ostrich, and smaller animals like the banded mongoose, bat-eared fox, and hyena. But it wouldn't feel like Africa without the zebras, giraffes, and of course the king of the jungle. Make sure to stop and experience some of the interactive stations along the way.
The journey continues as guests venture to the Indonesian rainforest. This cool shaded area is home to some zoo favorites, including endangered species. The Sumatran orangutan is a crowd favorite. along with playful tigers. And just inside is the Jungle Dome Aviary, featuring birds and plants straight from the jungle.
The Australian Adventure welcomes guests into the outback and features an aquarium with fish and sea life from the Great Barrier Reef. Of course, you can't miss the kangaroos. They may just take over your path.
Well, we walked across the zoo. We're now in the Australian outback, and on the way here we got to see ducks and chipmunks and peacocks just roaming the grounds.
Yeah, and Nathan, in here it doesn't feel much different because these kangaroos are just a few feet away from us and they could hop across at any second and we could just really get to interact with those kangaroos.
And that's the great part of being here at the Fort Wayne Children's Zoo. When we come back, we're going to see even more of what there is to offer here.
Welcome back to Day Trippin'. We're on the Sky Safari ride at the Fort Wayne Children's Zoo.
That's right, Jacqueline. We're currently above the African Journey, getting a great viewpoint, and just for a small fee, anyone can come with your family and get the same viewpoint we're having right now.
And this is just one of the featured rides here at the zoo. There are lots of other opportunities to ride throughout the exhibits.
Although these experiences aren't free, the rides can show you the zoo in a whole new way. In addition to seeing the animals by air on the Sky Safari, you can travel by water and by rail.
The Australian River Ride floats visitors through wooded areas of the outback. Peek through the trees to see dingoes and kangaroos.
And not too far away, the train ride gives visitors a chance to relax and enjoy a scenic trip through a wooded area. A large pond shows animals like ducks and turtles in their natural environment.
But some rides are just for fun. The Indonesian rainforest is home to a classic ride with a twist. The Endangered Species Carousel features animals from Southeast Asia: cheetahs, giraffes, and pandas.
And if the kiddos just want a pony ride, you can head to the stables. This attraction has been part of the zoo for about 30 years and is still a big hit. Though they aren't all ponies, the stable houses over a dozen horses of different breeds.
Near the entrance of the zoo, guests can buy food to feed the ducks. It's an inexpensive and popular way for kids to get close to the animals. We had a chance to brush a goat earlier, but guests can take the experience a step further and feed them.
One of the features of the African Journey is the giraffe exhibit. If you're lucky enough to get there when the giraffes are ready to eat, you can get some lettuce and wait for them to stop by.
So Jacqueline, I've had a turn here now. I think it's your turn to feed some animals.
All right, let's see. Oh, that's kind of fun. There you go.
A little different than brushing goats.
Yeah.
There's a nice looking giraffe.
She's hungry. I only have one left. Oh, okay.
After feeding the animals, make sure to stop for a treat yourself. There are 3 restaurants located throughout the park, and snack stops along the way. No matter how you interact with the zoo, there's always something to learn.
The zoo is really a great local connection for people to learn about what's happening around the world with endangered animals. Of course, we have a lot of endangered species here at the zoo. Our Sumatran tigers, orangutans, critically endangered in the wild. So we want to give our guests a chance to make a connection with those animals. So we have a new activity called Kids for Nature. And when you enter the zoo, you get a washer and you use that to vote in one of 3 spiral wishing wells, and you can choose how we will allocate our conservation funds. The zoo has $50,000 set aside this year to support conservation, both in Indiana and around the world.
Well, we've had a great time at the Fort Wayne Children's Zoo today.
We've gotten to get up and close and personal with a giraffe.
And some goats,
And
and
some
we got
goats.
to see the kangaroos. But we're going to do one last thing before we leave the zoo, and that is cast our conservation vote. Nathan, what are you going to vote for?
Well, I'm looking at this rare Javan gibbon, but
I think I'm going to
Go
save
ahead.
the wild African lions.
sounds great.
Let's-
We'll go ahead and cast our vote here. And actually, I decided that I like them all. So I got one for each. Maybe you just like lions. I like them all, Jack.
Our votes really count for this, and this is really going to a great cause. But when we come back, we're going to check out some local places to eat in Fort Wayne. Welcome back to Day Trippin'. We're now in downtown Fort Wayne, and Nathan, I think it's time to eat.
And I'm really excited about this because we get to try out something of an institution here in Fort Wayne, and that is Fort Wayne's famous Coney Island.
Fort Wayne's famous Coney Island has been family owned and operated since it opened in 1914, nearly a decade of service, providing locals with a classic affordable meal.
It's a local tradition, really. We've been here 99 years so far in the same location. So, I mean, everybody comes here. I mean, we have famous people, like Kid Rock just came in last month. We have your run-of-the-mill, just average customers come in. We'll have at the counter a great-grandfather, grandfather, father, and his son, all at the same table together, and people tell us stories about how when they came here in 1940 and hot dogs cost, 10 cents or however much they cost back then. So, I mean, it's just mainly tradition. We have steamed buns. That's how we start off the hot dog. And then our hot dogs. And we put all of these on a tray so it's easy to sauce and mustard them. And this is our famous Coney sauce right here. If I tell you the recipe, I have to kill you. Right now we only have 2 people that work here that actually know what goes in the Coney sauce, so it's kind of a well-kept secret. Actually, no. I can make the baked beans and the chili, but not the Coney sauce. Exactly. Yep. And then mustard, Coney sauce, and onions. And we have ketchup for the kids. Go through about 2,000 hot dogs a day, unless it's busy during Christmas or summertime, then it's about 5,000 a day.
All right, so I just got the standard order.
You got the standard order, 2 hot
Just in
dogs,
here.
Coke, and the chili.
All right, and I am a fan of hot dogs and Coney dogs, so this is going to be fun.
All right.
I probably could eat well more than 2 of these, for sure.
Most people
They're
do.
Very good. Are there similarities between the chili and the Coney sauce?
No, actually. Aside from both having burger in it.
Yeah, it's good. I like that a lot. Just kind of spicy, but
Yeah.
really nice. And top it off with a bottle of Coke.
Yep.
Thanks a lot, Justin.
Oh, thank you for coming in.
So I'm told locals who are in the know get to exit through the kitchen, so that's the way I'm heading out. Well, Jacqueline, I know hot dogs might not be your thing, but this place was really amazing.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, and it sounds like a lot of other Fort Wayne residents really love coming to Coney Island too.
Well, maybe we can head on over to some place that's a little more your taste. What do you say?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. We're gonna go get some coffee at the Downtown Grind Coffee House.
If you're looking for a place to stop and relax while you're downtown, you won't have to look far.
We're family owned. My 2 daughters are my partners, and my son and my niece, we all work here. And just kind of a community little coffee house. We got a lot of regulars that live in West Central and work downtown. We're not Starbucks, we're just more of a hometown, old-fashioned coffee shop.
The coffee house serves the basics: coffee, tea, and a variety of snacks, but they also have specialty drinks they created themselves. Elena combined steamed milk, espresso, and a lot of great flavors to make a giraffe. She paired it with a cinnamon roll, and then it was my turn to try it all together.
Well, I'm gonna give this drink a try. Oh, that's very tasty. Well, I'm gonna enjoy this latte with my cinnamon roll. Thank you so much, Elena, for letting us come in here today. And if you're ever in Fort Wayne, you should check out the Downtown Grind. Nathan, we're drinking this coffee, and I just love finding little places that are tucked away in the city that have a little bit of a unique flair.
Yeah, these local businesses are great. We love to support the local businesses, and some of these have taken on a life of their own, like Coney Island. Everyone knows about them. They're just great treats.
Well, when we come back, we're gonna head over to the home of the Fort Wayne Tin Caps.
We're going over to Parkview Field when we come back, so stick around.
Welcome back to Day Trippin'. We're still in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and right now we're at Parkview Field.
This is the home of the single-A baseball team, the Fort Wayne Tin Caps.
We're gonna go ahead and go inside, get a tour of the field and the facilities, and see what else they have to offer.
From what we hear, you can do a whole lot more in there than just watch a baseball game.
Fort Wayne has been home to a minor league baseball team since 1993. We met up with the voice of the Tin Caps, Mike Cousins, who gave us a little bit of history.
Part of the fun of working in Fort Wayne and working for the Tin Caps is the great rich baseball history that this city has. This franchise by itself goes back to 1993 as the Fort Wayne Wizards, and then became the Tin Caps in the 2009 season. But baseball here in Fort Wayne goes back to the 1860s with the first ever professional game, the first ever lighted game. During the 1940s and 50s, during World War II, in Fort Wayne, there were the Fort Wayne Daisies, which were a member of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. And just last week, we had one of the members of that team on here on our broadcast, which is really cool to get that type of perspective. And it makes you realize that you're a part of something bigger when you're calling a game or when the players are in a game, because you know that people have been here for 150 years playing this game, and you're just a very small part of it. But it's something really cool to be a part of.
Nestled downtown, Parkview Field is Fort Wayne's spot to root for the home team. Parkview Field was built in 2009 and was designed to include all the best features from stadiums around the country. Michael Limmer is the Tin Caps Vice President of Marketing, and he showed us around the stadium.
Parkview Field is part of a project to bring baseball into downtown Fort Wayne, really be a catalyst for continued growth for Fort Wayne's downtown. It was someplace that originally was a place where people came to work. They wanted downtown to be a place for people to come and play as well. We draw over 400,000 people every year for ball games, another additional 100,000 in special events, whether they be concerts, they could be community showcases, farmers markets, banquets, luncheons, all that sort of great stuff that we can host right here in a lot of our indoor space that we have can use during the winter as well. Our season runs from April to Labor Day. We play 70 home games. We try to make sure that every game we have something different, that we have something that differentiates it from the other. We stay as relevant for this community and to provide entertainment on a consistent basis. Parkview Field is a tremendous venue to be able to watch a game. It's actually been named the #1 minor league baseball experience in the country by Stadium Journey magazine, which ranks all of the minor league teams, ballparks, as well as any of the other facilities for professional sports, and we rank 13th out of all 1,200 facilities that they've rated.
Fans of the All-American sport can watch the game from just about any perspective. A regular ticket can get you a seat in the stadium seats or on the lawn. But bring a large group and you have even more options. The picnic pavilion, the home run porch, suites, and the rooftop. For a more exclusive view, check out the newly opened 400 Club. This indoor facility includes food and drink, and a great view directly across from home plate.
Well, we've had a great time here at Parkview Field. We're actually on the field level right now, and Nathan, there's a lot more things to do here than just baseball.
There's all kinds of stuff for the whole family. You can come with your kids. I'm already looking to plan a trip here with the kids. There's all kinds of stuff for everyone to do and get to watch a great baseball game.
Yeah, we've had a great time here in Fort Wayne. If you want to check out this episode or past episodes of Day Trippin', you can go to our website. That's www.wiwutv.com. You can see past episodes of this show and all our other local programming.
Check us out at facebook.com/WIWTV and make sure to like us. And also check us out on Twitter. You can follow us at WIWTV. Jacqueline, that's it for this episode. We've had a great time.
We really have. So join us next time as we travel to another place that's just a day trip away.